Peace, health, and longevity. Welcome to another episode on Onamia Holistic Health. In this episode, I will be talking to you about a very interesting topic. In the previous episode, if you haven't watched it, I really recommend you do. And you watch all the other episodes for you to understand where I'm trying to go. Because this whole project that I'm actually setting up, it is meant to heal and bring the body in harmony, to bring yourself into harmony. In the first episode, I was talking to you about the fourfold human being, that you are four parts. You are a divine being. You have a physical body, you have a soul, and you have a mind. These four aspects of yourself must be in harmony in order for you to live a balanced life. And in each episode, I'm explaining to you each member of that fourfold human being. And through that, you can have an understanding like, oh, this is how my physical body is. Oh, this is how my spiritual body is. This is how my soul is. This is how my mind is. Sometimes physically you're okay and nothing is going on in your physical body, but you feel some kind of unease within yourself. And you don't really know what it is. But it's because it is not your physical body what is being distressed, but it can be either your mind. Sometimes you may feel something that is not right, and it's not happening in your physical body, but it can happen in that part of you that deals with your emotions, your thoughts, your passions, your desires, which is the soul. And in this episode, I'll be talking to you about that part which talks about the soul. So let us start our episode. Let us talk about the soul. The soul is that part of you that is passionate. Is that part of you that makes you feel, that makes you love, that makes you hate, that makes you feel angry, guilty, sad, kind, giving, forgiving, loving, funny, that part of you that makes you feel passionate. When you have a goal and that you want to achieve and you feel this immense passion within you, it is that part of you, that soul, that causes you to behave that way. Whenever it comes to the soul, it's a very interesting member of the fourfold human. The soul can be your best friend, but it can also be your worst enemy. And if care is not taken, the soul can make you do things that you don't want to do. The soul is like an untamed beast. If you don't control it, it will control you. So it's very important for you to know what this particular part of you is, what it does, how it reacts, how it responds. In a previous episode, I was talking to you about the spirit. The spirit is that part of you that wants to do righteousness and be moral, be ethical, do the right thing. The spirit is that part of you that nourishes your body whenever you are asleep. Have you ever, and I'm sure you have, you experience that every morning. Whenever you wake up very refreshed and you feel at peace. You feel like, it's a new beginning. It is because of the work of the spirit during the nighttime hours. The spirit is mostly at work when you are asleep, and the soul is at work during the day. The spirit nourishes the body during your sleep. Have you also noticed something that at the end of the day, you feel very tired? You feel like, I need to rest right now. I need to go to sleep. What is causing that tiredness? That tiredness is being caused by the activities of the soul. The soul, like I said, is the seat of your desires, your passions, your drives, your emotions. Is that part of you that causes you to feel excited? Is that part of you that also causes you to feel sad and depressed and angry and lustful and negative? But it can also make you feel positive. All those activities taking place puts a lot of stress on the body. puts a lot of tension on the body, the negative ones. If you are constantly having negative emotions, those negative emotions is going to cause a lot of pressure and stress on the tissues, on the cells, and eventually in the organs, and that can result into a disease. One of the 6 causes of death, one of them is stress. And stress is healthy, but it can also be toxic. Stress causes you to be able to flee if you are experiencing an attack, because all the blood vessels are being opened in your body, and it causes the fight and flight mode. So it's either you fight or the body's preparing itself to flee. So your muscles in your leg area and in your arms are dilating, they're increasing, because a lot of blood flow has to come in order for you to be able to escape. And the digestive part of you, or the passive part of you, which is the digestive system, basically slows down and stops, because now the body doesn't want to go through digesting the foods and stuff, so it will stop during that stressful period. This is good in cases of emergencies, but if this stress lingers too long in the body, it will eventually affect the immune system, and that will lead to either cancer, depression, high blood pressure, stroke. So that's why it's not recommended to stress for too long. Stress is good, but if it's too long, it is not a good thing. This leads to diseases in your body if the stress lingers too long in the body. And the stress comes from the soul. You see how I'm making the correlation between the soul and the physical body? Sometimes you can be healthy, young and healthy, vibrant, but because you stress too much, that can cause you to have cancer or depression or even physical ailments, or it can result into pimples on your face because you stress too much. It's because you're putting too much pressure, like I said before, on the tissues, on the cells. Why am I saying this? Remember that the soul is the seat of your passions and emotions, and it's like an untamed beast. If you are not able to control that untamed beast, it will eventually control you. Have you ever experienced moments when you just snapped out of anger and later on you felt guilty? What happened at that particular moment is your soul responded or reacted to a situation, but you didn't use proper self-control. You could have responded in a more better way, in a more calm and poised way, but because you didn't control yourself or your soul at that particular moment, you just snapped. And this is why it is important to know that what part of me is reacting that way and why am I reacting that way? Because there's always a better way to respond to situations. Whenever it comes to the soul, it is important that you tame it, because naturally it is very volatile, it is very untamed, and it wants to do whatever it feels like. You have people like that. They just say what they feel, they just do what they want without thinking, and they're all over the place. Those type of people don't know how to control that beast part of them, that base part of them, because we all have it. All of us, all humans have that part of them, that base nature. There are many techniques for it. Some of them I will discuss it in the video, and some of them you would have to really go to professional people that have studied this aspect. And those that are experts of the soul are the psychologists and the psychiatrists. Even with addiction, it can be alcoholism, it can be smoking, it can be gambling, it can be eating. Any addiction that you can think of comes from the soul. If you're not able to tame your soul, you can easily be addicted. You can easily fall prey to addiction, because it's that part of you that wants it, is the desirous part of you. And if you're not able to control that part, it will control you, and you now become a slave to your own self, a slave to your own soul. In many ancient traditions, they have depicted this battle between yourself, actually the two aspects of yourself, which is your higher self and your lower self, or your spirit and your soul. And they have depicted that in many ancient traditions. In the scriptures, they have depicted that battle as the battle between God and Satan, or the angel Michael and the dragon, the Christ and the Antichrist. The polar opposites are constantly battling within each other. And depending on how well you're able to tame the soul will determine the success in your life. Whenever you are dealing with the soul, you also have to remember this. The soul develops over time. And when the soul is coming into more fruition and is being maturing and is maturing, mostly during the teenage years is when the body is at an all-time high. For example, if it's a little girl, her body starts to change. She starts to develop more breasts. Her body becomes more like the body of a woman. She starts to menstruate. For a boy, his voice starts to change. And during that teenage years, if you notice, they become rebellious. But it's a natural process because their soul is developing. And as time goes on, as you get older, have you noticed that you are no longer doing the things that you used to do in your teenage years whilst you're now in your 30s or 40s? It's because you have now found a better way to tame your soul. Some people takes a little longer. They still continue with that teenage behavior in their 20s, in their 30s, and that gets them into a lot of trouble because they're not able to tame and suppress it. So this is basically how the soul is. It is the seat of your desires and your passions. It is the place where you feel, your emotional body. You have positive emotions, positive feelings, and you have negative emotions, negative feelings. The negative feelings and the negative emotions causes a lot of stress and strain on your physical body, and that can result into a disease. I've already given you the example of stress eventually weakening the immune system and causing a weakened immune system, therefore leading to cancer, high blood pressure, stroke. So it's important that when you stress, don't stress too long, because you also have eustress, which is positive stress, healthy stress. That is the stress that pushes you to grow, to evolve, to be better than you were. So when it comes to stress, it's good at a short time. But if it is prolonged, like days, weeks, years, it can put a lot of stress on the physical body and can lead to diseases. But for now, all you need to know now is that the soul needs to be tamed. And there are many exercises that you can do. One of this is, if you looked at the previous episode, it's called the nighttime review. This time you're doing it again. You're going throughout the day and you're going to all the scenarios throughout the day that you've experienced, and you see what you have done, how you reacted in an untamed way, knowing that you shouldn't have reacted that way. You analyze that moment and see, how could I have done it better? So you basically go through the days and see the moments that you responded impulsively and without thought, and how that led to an unfavorable situation. Maybe you offended a person, maybe you said something or you behaved in a way that was very offensive to someone, and you evaluate how you felt at that moment. It is that part of you, that soul, that responded in an untamed manner. And now you're going to think, how will I do it better should I be confronted with a similar situation? So now you apply the spirit to tame that beast, which is the soul. Check your desires as well. Some desires can be very good, But some desires are also based in selfishness and greed. Let your desires be pure. And are these desires for the greater good of humanity, or is it more geared towards yourself? We all have those desires because we all have a selfish part of us, which is part of us as well. And it's normal to have that selfish part of us, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can also not take care of other people. Like I said, there has to be a healthy balance between being selfless and selfish. But look at that part of your desires. And if you see that you're being controlled by your desires, put a break and be honest with yourself. Like, is this desire an addiction? Or is this just something that I do once in a while? Check your desires. Some desires lead to addictions. Every once in a while, you feel like drinking that alcohol after a long day of work. Or anytime when you feel sad, you drink that alcohol, up until the point that that desire becomes so strong and to the point that you cannot tame it. And that will lead to an addiction. Be careful about that. Be conscious and aware of all your feelings. Because however you feel, whatever you're feeling is coming from the soul. Be able to maintain it, be able to control it. And I know it's easier said than done. But the first part is to be aware of your feelings and your emotions. That is the first exercise I'm recommending you. Be aware of your feelings and your emotions and how you are responding to those emotions in real life. Because the ultimate goal is to tame the soul. Once you're able to accomplish that, and this is a life, and I say it again, a lifelong battle. You cannot get this within 2-3 weeks. This is a constant battle that you need to be able to accomplish on a daily basis, taming it. But as you do it on a daily basis, you're getting better at taming it. The second exercise is create a sense of selfless love towards humans, towards animals, towards humanity, towards the environment. Because the soul is that place, as you continuously do that, you're able to bring the soul to a balance, and you're not thinking about yourself anymore often, but you're now thinking about others. Because the opposite of the soul is the spirit. And the more you feed the spirit, the better you have control over the soul part of you. The more you feed your spirit, the more control you would have over the soul. Remember that the soul and the spirit are in constant battle between each other. And depending on who is stronger will show in your life. Is your soul stronger or is your spirit stronger? And you want to be able to bring an equal balance, which is very difficult, but with time you get better. Bringing the spirit and your soul in harmony with each other. So this is it for the soul. There's so much more that we are going to talk about just with the soul alone. We're going to talk about the different emotions that we feel. Hate, anger, lust, joy, happiness, thankfulness, guilt, malice. All these different emotions is what we're going to experience in this lifetime. And we need to find a way to deal with it in an appropriate way, in a way that will not harm other people. And that will be coming in the successive videos. I hope that you enjoyed this episode about the soul. Just know that we all have it, and it's the third member of the fourfold human. Make sure that you tame that beast, because it is a beast if you don't take care of it. And make sure that you also live in harmony with your spirit. Live in harmony with your soul as well. Be in balance between the soul and the spirit, and take care of the physical body, because that is the avatar that we need to maneuver in this physical reality. If you don't take care of your body, you're not able to do the things that you want to do. Make sure that you take care of these three parts. In the next episode, I'll be talking to you about the fourth and the last member of the fourfold human. That part is like the judge. Is that part that causes all the four to be in balance. And the only one that is in control of that part is you. Only you can control that part. And if you don't control it, someone else will. And there are many devastating scenarios of other people controlling that part of you. In the next episode, I'll be talking to you about what that is. Thank you once again for your attention. I hope this video was able to bring some awareness and some jewels that you can use to apply in your life. Make sure that you follow me on the other social media pages, on my Instagram, on my Facebook. Check and keep following me on YouTube as I bring new episodes. I wish you lots of peace, health, and longevity. Make sure that you take care of yourself, stay positive, be righteous in your ways, be pure, be honest. I will see you in the next episode, and I wish you a lovely day. Take care of yourself. My name is Caroline Onamia. Check out my website if you want to take advantage of the services that I offer. And I will see you in the next episode. Peace.